a screwdriver or something though. Find that lead hammer. Alright, we're under here getting ready to pull the pan. I'm going to try to see if there's a thrust washer or what in here. I did some research, can't seem to find much info. They updated these engines and put them back out in 37, and it's a 134. And from what I can see in pictures, the blocks look close to the same. The old pump's in a different location. They moved it from the front to the center. But I got high hopes that one of them engines will fit in here, because I don't want to, I'm not wanting to really change it at all, but you know, update it with a little bit more horsepower if I wouldn't hurt it. But anyway, this is the predecessor to the Go Devil engine, which was the Willys engine they put in the Jeeps in the, you know, during World War II. But we're getting ready to pull the pan. I want to see what we've got to work with, whether we're going to tear this down, try to do something with it or not. There you go.
Oh, look at that. It's held on by wires.
Yeah, safety wire.
I didn't know that. That's only one of them's got it though. That's crazy. Ooh, Jonathan.
Yes, sir. What are you finding in the bottom?
Broken off bolt. What's that off of?
Ooh, look how shiny it is.
Yeah, I know. It's been there for a minute then, huh?
Yeah, but
I wonder what them pistons look like.
Might have shined itself up when we was running it.
It's the cam.
It's up there. See it?
Uh-huh.
I just wonder what that piston, I mean, I wonder what that bolt was. I don't see anything that would look like that bolt. It's not bad. It's got side play, but it don't have any play this way. You see anywhere where, I don't see where that bolt would have been beaten on the bottom of it.
Mm-mm.
Well, that's a loose engine to be able to turn with one hand. Alright, that looks like it might be a thrust bearing. Maybe.
Pistons look fairly.
Alright, what we're going to do, let me check it out and see if I can figure out which one on the main is the thrust bearing, and then we're going to drop that particular bearing down and look at it. But still interested in finding out what this bolt is.
And then chunks.
That's a double nut. Is that double nutted? A bolt with double nut?
Yeah.
Aha. You know what that might be?
What?
If this thing was running too good. Almost looks like an adjustment nut off of the tappet off of one of the top of the lifters, but it wouldn't have been able to get in here, I don't believe, unless there's an oil return. No, not through that. I mean, it would have to come down through.
Like that one fit there.
Yeah, on top of the cam is, you got lifters, and this looks like one of the adjusters. This actually looks like one of the adjusters that go on top of it to adjust your valves. Unless it broke before and somebody just didn't get it out. So we may have to pull the valve cover off, which on a flathead engine, a valve cover will be on that side behind the intake manifold. It's just a flat cover. So we'll check it out. But we still got to deal with the end play, so let's see if we can figure that out. Alright. Okay folks, this is definitely looking a little different than what I'm used to. The split is down the center, and then there's a pin that comes out of the cap that keeps this bearing from turning. Didn't even realize it had inserts. I figured it had poured Babbitt. I guess what we can do is spin it sideways, hopefully, and be able to get the halves out. I've never run into this style before. We'll see what we can do. Okay, what we're really finding is not bad. The crank's not terrible. It's not worn. I don't think there's any issues except for the, let's see if I can get it to move by hand here. Just the end play in the crank. But we do have a lifter on number 3 cylinder is broke at the top. I can't believe it was running as good as it was. So that could have also been part of our noise, but it could have been the, you know, it shouldn't have been running so good. So we're going to see what we can do about fixing that. And I'm not sure what to do with the thrust to keep this crank from moving forward and back. But we will figure something out. Alright. As you'll see, the third spring up here, the bolts broke off for the adjuster. And these ones are okay. But believe it or not, we can take these bolts out and actually pull the lifters out from the side without having to pull the cam out. That's the first I've seen of that. So what we're going to do is we'll pull them out and go ahead and see if we can fix this and make a piece for it. It's hardened. We may try to harden it ourselves, but either way we're going to get something on it to where it opens that valve up all the way. And we'll make sure that that valve, well, they turned over by hand, so I don't think they're, shouldn't be binding or stuck. It's just broke. So anyway, that and the end play and the crank looks like our only issues. So we'll mess with it a little more. Okay, here's our broken adjuster. We got it out. Now we can make one of these, but we found another issue. One of the lifters is busted. So I'm going to try to find a replacement. And I found some for the 134 Willys. I don't know if they're the same or not. They look just like it, but I'm going to try to get somebody to measure for me and see if we can come up with that. I like the way these come out. Most of them you got to pull the cam and drop them through, but this bolts in, so we're good to go there. And the other one is the number 1 front exhaust valve. This is the one that's the lifter is busted on. It's busted right around there, so we can take care of that. Okay, let me show you what we've got going on here. The front main is the thrust bearing, and it hits against the crankshaft right here. And it's worn on this back side, but it's not worn on the front side. And the reason is, and the reason that you have thrust problems is because this is a stick shift. So every time you push the clutch in, you're actually pushing the crankshaft forward. And what's happened is it's just done, you know, pushed so many times that it's come up, and I can actually feel the groove in the surface where the thrust washer goes. So I don't know what is best to fix this, because if this would come off, which I don't think does, if that was to come off with the gear, we could make a shim that would slide on. But I don't think it does, so I'm sure it don't. It's part of the journal. So we've got to figure out a way of taking up the slack in here. And I can't think of a good way to do it, but we're going to figure something out. But there's our thrust. You can actually see in there, I don't know what the distance is, but I'm going to put this back together, and then I'm going to put a dial indicator on it, and we're going to find out exactly how much thrust is in it. Now these are bearing inserts. They're not Babbitt. This I actually turned. This goes around halfway until this hole is in the center. And when it's in the center here, the cap has a nub sticking on it, which I'll show you. And this is how, I'm going to show you how the bearing actually sits on it. Actually sits just like this. So to get the bearing out, you have to turn it halfway around, or quarter way around to get it out. So this is how it sits. That pin in the center is what keeps the bearing from moving, and you know, even that way or spinning. And then like I said, there's the side that the thrust has been hitting, and then if you look at the front side of the bearing, it's still dirty. So it's not hitting at all up here, but when you're pushing that clutch in, it's hitting back here. Okay, we're not focusing very good on the dial indicator, but you'll be able to see how far it moves. Go ahead from, I think, the other side, you know. Yep, we're set on 0. And we just went to 35. So we've got 35 thousandths in play in this crankshaft, so we'll try to figure out what it's supposed to be. I know far less than that, but that's what we've got. Okay folks, the only conclusion that I can come up with I think this is actually made part of the crankshaft. But I think if we pull the crankshaft out, we know we got 35 thousandths play in it. I can machine this off a little bit just to get it smooth, and we'll figure out how much and add that to the 35 thousandths. Make a stainless shim that goes on here, and then make another piece back for this that'll slide on the front and press between our timing gear and our pulley, and when we put the nut back on, it'll hold that in, because I'm assuming that this is made to the crankshaft. I don't think it's separate. It could be, but I don't know. But if it is separate, it wouldn't be a problem to put a shim on there. But I think that's going to be our only answer. So what we're going to do is full motor transmission. We'll see if we can get the crankshaft out, and then and go from there. Okay, we got no on this job. I'm doing other things, so should have it out in no time.
A little bit more. Alright. Tilt them.
Okay, it's out, transmission's underneath, engine's out, ready to tear down, and we're going to see what we can do with it, and I think that's about it. We'll do some cleanup and stuff.
Transmission.
Yeah, clean transmission up. We might paint a little bit. We're not going to paint a bunch, but the main thing is get this apart and see what we can do with that thrust washer and get our lifters in it. And this is Noah's job. I've been doing other things. So. He says he knows how to put back together, so we'll find out. Think you can, Noah?
Yeah.
Alright. We'll find out. So everybody knows, you know, I said that the backlash on this crankshaft is 35 thousandths, and it should be between like 2 and 6 thousandths. So we've got at least, you know, 30 thousandths to shim it. We're going to polish the crank while I have it in the lathe, and then like I said, this is going to be surfaced because it's not flush. So whatever we take off of this, we'll actually add to our shim to get it back. So, and I think stainless will go real good against here, against that bearing. So, and I guess it's got inserts here and Babbitt here. I'm assuming them are Babbitt, the way it's, you can see it around it like it's been poured. And everything's good and tight, it's in good shape. If I was guessing, if you notice this thing had nice clean new oil in it, if you look you can see rust inside this block. I think what has happened is this thing probably set up until the early 80s, and then somebody did a cold start on it, got it started, and it must have had some water in it. And we just restarted it. It's all that we'd done. And someone changed the oil in it, but it definitely had some water in it at one time. And it'll turn out fine. You know, these are low RPM engines. You know, they're not real critical. Not much worse than a tractor. So they'll, believe it or not, run forever with a lot of problems. And you know, a lot of times you don't even know it has the problems, Babbitt coming apart and such. But anyway, we'll get her back together, and we'll make her run again. All right, folks. It's getting late, getting dark. Noah said he don't want to work on it no more. So he wants to get some sleep for tomorrow.
Yeah.
Yeah. So anyway, one good thing is I already see that comes off with the gear. So that's all we're gonna have to do is put the crankshaft in the lathe. We'll polish it. We'll go ahead and machine this a little bit, and then we'll make our thrust washer, and then we'll stick her back together and reshim these babbits. They feel good, but we can plastic gauge them, check them, and probably about 2 thousandths clearance on them, I believe is what it's going to need to be. Anyway, we'll work on it either tomorrow or the next day or whenever Noah comes again. Noah's out of school, so he's going to be here a few days a week. All right, Noah, say bye.
Bye.
See ya.